So I saw this title. So I read a lot of articles from Fandom Pulse, but I feel like I need to kind of call out the BS from time to time. But I saw this title and I thought, what kind of disordered lifestyle are we talking about here? Is he like, I don't know, going to orgies and having certain relations with like animal corpses or something? I was like, I don't know, what kind of disordered lifestyle? No, it just turns out the guy is gay. Just turns out he's gay. So, um, being gay is not inherently evil. Okay? Just like every group of people, there are just evil people amongst them. White people, black people. Every group of people has evil people among them. And I know my group, my audience, despite the fact that I'm apparently a raging homophobic, racist, this and that, my audience is pretty diverse. I do these videos and I get people saying, hey, I really appreciate the level-headedness. I'm non-binary and, I can't stand when people do this. So for a phobis and ism, I've got a pretty diverse group of people watching me. Now being gay is not inherently evil. Now people would think I'm mostly right-wing. I'm not. I'm more in the middle. I've got left-wing views and I got right-wing views. It's like marriage. I say this all the time. I don't care if it's man, woman, man, man, woman, woman. Marriage should just be between two people. When you start doing that whole getting married and doing that polyamorous bull crap, and then you see articles like, oh, why cheating is okay. That's where I draw the line. Keep it away from kids. And if you're going to marry each other, it doesn't matter what gender or sex or whatever, just keep it between the two people. If you're having troubles in your relationship, fix them. Don't like, oh, let's cheat on each other and bring in more people. No, that's when it gets sloppy. But to say that something like being gay is evil, come on. Come on. Noah Schnapp. Schnaps. Noah Schnapp, who plays Will Byers in Netflix's Stranger Things series, defended his disordered lifestyle by claiming, I'm finally living truthfully. Again, it's not disordered. I'm like, the guy he made it seem like, again, like he's going out and having orgies with friggin' animal corpses. No, he's just gay. He's just gay. Not that big of a deal. Like, seriously, it's not that big of a deal. Schnapp defended his disordered lifestyle while speaking to Variety at the opening of his stage play Stranger Things First Shadow in New York. The actor revealed he was leading a... Like, what is... They keep trying to push the disordered lifestyle. It's not a disordered lifestyle. Now, if he was out there trying to force his stuff on the kids, then maybe but if he's just out there living his life, it's not disordered life. It's not affecting you. It's not making your life any different. If he wants to love and fuck other dudes, let him. What disordered lifestyle? Like, what the fuck? In an 8-second TikTok video back in 2023, text shown in the video reads, when I finally told my friends and family I was gay after being scared in the closet for 18 years, and all they said was, we know. Yeah, that's kind of like how it was for my brother. Like, he decided to block everyone on Facebook because he finally decided to tell everyone. It's like, dude, we've known since you were like fucking 12. Okay, you loved Coyote Ugly and Miss Congeniality. You would wrap yourself at 12 years old in a towel and pretend it was a dress. We fully knew. We knew. Trying to pull one over on us. And then, just, I was the best man at his gay wedding, him and his husband, or his boyfriend at the time, who's now his husband. The best man at his gay wedding. They were trying to get an apartment together. Him and I think they were still dating at the time. But they come to me, he asked me for $500 for a pet deposit so they could keep their dog and cat in the apartment. Obviously, I gave it to him. You know, and he paid it back fairly promptly. I think it only took like a couple weeks for him to pay me back. So, like, we knew and we didn't care. We didn't care. Of course, he completely forgets about all that because I haven't talked to him in 3 years because he just called me a typical Trump supporter. But, you know, you can't please them all. Apparently, he forgets that who enabled him to allow him to keep his pets when he didn't have the money to do so. Oh, that's right. It's the typical Trump supporter. But in August 2023, Schnapp discussed with Variety how his character being gay in Stranger Things influenced his own embrace of. We should just stop calling it disordered lifestyle. It's not really a lifestyle. It's just who they are. He said, only once I fully embraced that Will was gay, it was just exponential speed, an exponential speed towards accepting it for myself. I would be in a completely different place if I didn't have Will to portray and to embrace and help me accept myself. I think if I never played that character, I probably would still be closeted. Later in an interview, he also shared that he did not even know about what being a homosexual meant. Was when he first took the role. Oh, wait. He did not even know what being a homosexual meant was when he first. I was so young, I barely. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm thinking from the lens of like an 18-year-old kid here, but no, it's like no, he was a kid. So yeah, I don't shouldn't have known at least. Okay, so I was like, what? I'm like, am I having a stroke right now? I was so young, I barely even knew what that word meant, and I don't even think I knew myself that I was gay. In fact, he even said that he was always thought of himself as straight, but he was constantly lampooned by friends and family telling him he was homosexual. It was just an idea, the idea of being gay, and I was like, I'm straight. Yeah, my brother did the same thing. You know, him and his best friend even, you know, just to see and convince him. No, it didn't work out very well. It's like in the movies where like the gay guy kisses his best friend. They're like, no, nope. That's pretty much what it was like. That's what it was like. So I think that was the moment where he kind of determined whether or not he was like fully. Of course, we already knew. Again, we're all 3 years apart, about 2.5 years apart. Me and my two other brothers. We knew from the time, you know, I'm close to 40. We knew from what, like 10, 11 years old that the dude was gay. So, you know, yeah. But he did the same thing. He was trying to convince everyone. We're like, no, dude, you're not straight. There's no way. There's no way. Uh, Still later, he claimed that in the revelation that Will was gay, there was no pushback further emboldened, and there was no pushback further emboldened him to embrace again disordered lifestyle. It's not a disordered lifestyle. Ah, stay hydrated, kids. You know, let's take a second to appreciate the quality, high quality H2O. Now, I've said I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to H2O, when it comes to good old H2O, I know this is a big thing. I always believed, I firmly hold this belief, and let you guys let me know if you feel the same. It's that second hydrogen that really just gives it its flavor. Some people think it's the oxygen, the one oxygen. Some people say it's that first hydrogen. Me personally, I'm a little biased here, but I think it's that second hydrogen that really gives that water. If it wasn't for that second hydrogen, I don't think it would be nearly as good. It wouldn't. You know, it's like having something, you know, you're eating something that's got red 40 in it. If it wasn't for that red 40 or yellow blue 4, but it's that second hydrogen. Again, I'm a little biased, A little bias, but oh yeah, that second hydrogen. You're like, John, you're fucking stupid. I know. I know. Um, but yeah, again with the disordered lifestyle, you can keep saying it. It doesn't make it true. I saw all these comments on Instagram and TikTok. There was not one bad thing about him being gay. I was like, if he has all the support, then why should I worry about it? Yeah, I'm like, being gay is not that big of a fucking deal. When I was when I was a kid, not even a kid. When I was in middle school, high school, everyone I knew was gay or bi. All the dudes were gay and all the chicks were bi. That was early 2000s. No one gives a fuck if you're gay anymore. But it's not that big of a fucking deal. It's not. And well, I mean, the fact that I was in school in California, you know, but no one cares. No one cares anymore. If you want to be gay, be gay. Again, if you want to get married to a guy, go ahead. If you're a girl, just go ahead. We don't care. Just live your life. Just keep it away from kids. And if you do marry, don't do that polyamorous bull crap. Be committed to each other. If not, if you want to live a polyamorous life, then don't get married. Now, in an interview with Variety, Schnapp described how being a public... God. To be clear, living a disordered homosexual life is not living truthfully. Is it being true to what he is? Then yes, it is living truthfully. And then, of course, bring up some biblical bullshit. For people who don't know, I think all religions are crap. So no one can use that whole, well, you're not very Christian. I'm not a Christian. I'm not Christian. I'm not Catholic, not Jewish, not anything. I believe all religions are crap. So that whole, Jesus would do this, or you're not being very Christian. I don't care. All religions are crap. It's like they preach about love and tolerance, and yet some kid who's not really causing any problems, who's just living his life, oh, he's a sodomite and he's an evil person and disordered lifestyle. Yeah, not very tolerant. So they can go and talk about, oh, well, in the Bible, it's a book, okay? They're more like guidelines than actual rules. But it's not that big of a deal. As long as this kid is happy, and again keeps it away from kids, and it's not one of those, hey kids, it's really cool being gay. As long as he's not doing that, let him live his life. It's not a big deal. It's truly not a big deal. It's not affecting you. It's not making your life worse. How about focusing on the people who are actually a threat? The ones who are part of that community, who are going after children. How about focusing on them, the celebrities who are doing that, instead of worrying about some fucking 18-year-old kid who's just trying to live his life? Can we do that? Like, I know there's a lot of people who watch me who are gay, trans, bi, and then you guys are like that. You guys are just living your lives. You don't make it a big spectacle like, hey guys, I'm super gay, or I'm non-binary, no, you just live your life. You go to work like everyone else. You come home, you support your friend, your friends, your family, whoever, your spouse, your partner, whatever you want to call them, whether they be male, female, same gender as you or whatever. You just want to live your life, and you just a productive member of society. As long as that's what this kid is, who cares? Who cares? These people need to stop focusing on a kid like this, who apparently is not doing any harm to anyone, unless there's something about this guy that I don't know about. But focus on the other people, the people you see on Twitter or something like that, these or Hollywood elitists that like go after kids. You know, just being gay doesn't make it inherently evil. And again, and trying to quote the Bible and say, "Oh, well, this guy said," again, the Bible's just a book, okay? If it was divine law and mandate, then anytime someone stepped out of line, there would be some kind of divine consequence because we would be going directly against God's rules. But there's not. We can disobey it. It's a book, okay? One of the greatest stories ever told. That's all it is. You can choose to live your life by it, or you choose not to, or you could choose to live your best life by those rules. And the rules, I mean, it's like the 10 Commandments, you know? I'm down with that. You know, I don't believe Jesus was the Son of God, but you know, the I say this all the time, like the vibes he was giving off, what he was talking about, the love thy neighbor, and you know, the way I'm totally down for that. You know, totally down for that. But to come out and say like this 18-year-old kid who's just gay. Okay, he's not going to orgies and fucking animal corpses. He's just gay. Cut him some slack. He's not bothering you. Worry about the people who are an actual problem. Not that hard. Not that hard. But I'm just a homophobe, right? Anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.